Hey, welcome traders. Good to be with you. Glad you could join me. Get some of my accounts here ready to trade. I'm not going to be trading anything in Alveo. Um, I got stopped out in a couple of trades here, but let me just submit some people here and we're gonna prepare. Just give me just a moment here. Okay, sorry about that. Just want to be ready before we hit the top of the hour here in the next 10 minutes, but let's let more folks in. How's everyone doing? Shane, how you doing?
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Joshua. How's life treating you?
Not too bad. Took a hit this week. Just about recovered.
That's always good. That's one of the key things of taking a hit is knowing that you can hit back, right? Knowing that
Right.
you think about boxers and you cannot be afraid to take a hit, and that's what trading really is being able to come in and trade and then know that it's a possibility you could get smacked in the face and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. So that's part of the gig. But if you have that confidence in your process that, hey, you know what? If I could just take a break, breathe, and then come back and give a hit of my own, it'll make things feel a lot better. And then that pain may still be there, but it'll feel a whole lot better. So let in here. So I'm going to be watching the euro. The pound is probably a good one to watch as well. But you can kind of see this is the 5 minute of the pound. This is the 5 minute of the euro. The pound has been kind of weaker up to this point, but you can tell right here it's holding the lows, whereas the euro has been breaking its lows, the same comparative. So it's been weaker than the pound in just the last couple of days. That's interesting. It's kind of switched over, taking turns. But I'm still stocking that I'm still stocking that 107.04. I don't know what it is about that. That's the yearly open for the euro, and still thinking that we could potentially get up there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place some longs. I'm going to be kind of looking for a build, and I'm just going to feel like they're not going to raise rates. That's going to cause the dollar to come down, the euro to come up, the pound to come up, and I want to build into this. So I'm gonna put a little bit bigger stop, and I'm gonna put a little bit bigger target here. I'm going to start with a little bit. If it does go against me, obviously I want to have uh, some cushion, and I want to be able to, if it, this is my plan A. My plan A is that it's going to go up. I want to build into positions as it's going up. Every pullback, try to build in some more. Maybe depending on how volatile it is, maybe throw on some scalps here and there, and you know have some multi-strategy at play. Have some long-term trades going, and then play the short game with a few of our trades too. The other thing, the plan B, the other thing I'm going to plan against is it going against this. And then if we start building into a position that goes against this, my holding long is going to turn into let's just get out. If the opportunity presents itself, we'll layer in, like, with the P3 method, have a setup range, layer in with bigger positions if it bounces, or we can close out our position in a small win and reduce risk. That's what I'm going to do if it goes against us. And so that's going to be my play. Start with 3. Very, very typically of FOMC, we're gonna see, the volatility not guaranteed. Sometimes when the expectation is already kind of priced in, we do kind of see. I don't know remember where I saw it, but there was like a 99% chance that they're not going to raise rates. So a lot of it's probably already priced in, but maybe they're just waiting for a potential surprise, and then people are going to jump in into their side. And sometimes you would expect, oh, the dollar is going to weaken, the euro is going to strengthen, but at the very initial reaction, we get the opposite. So that's why we just always have to be careful. If I was clairvoyant and I knew that the market was going to come up here, I'd put on my entire 1.34 lot size on this account, right? I'd put everything that I own, if I knew exactly what the market was going to do, but you never do. So that's why you trade small. You start off small and then see what the market's going to do. Sometimes let it react, and then choose your bias, choose your range. And if you're right, you're right. If you're not, so be it. And so that's how we're going to play it. Now, I don't know. I don't know exactly how the market is supposed to react to not raising rates after rates being raised so quickly. I mean, historically, I don't think they've raised rates as quickly in the span of time where, a year and a half ago we were at 0 rates, and now we're at, 7 or 6, what is it, 5.5 or something. The mortgage rates are almost 8%, where a year and a half ago they were much less. 3 years ago they were at 2%, right? So it's quite unprecedented what they're doing, and it's pretty critical that they don't lower rates yet either, because that would cause some problems. So I think they're committed to holding the rates for a while, and seeing how that affects inflation over a little bit longer period of time. As far as that's what they say, and we could argue about what's really going on underneath, behind the curtain and underneath the rug and everything. But um, as far as what we're going to see right here, right now, that's what we have to prepare for as traders. Is let's stay in tune with what's going on the macro view and how it should affect things, but when it comes down to it, what happens right after, in 3 minutes and then in 30 minutes and 45 minutes, what happens there could be completely opposite of what ends up happening over the next few days, right? I've seen FOMC and news events where it's like, okay, the market should do this, and it does the opposite, and then the next day it gets on the track and gets on board, and then everybody's a little bit, everybody's a little bit early. So anyway, that's one of the things we're going to be just focus on is what's going on right here, right now in front of us, despite what is said. That's why sometimes I don't even have it pulled up on what they say, because sometimes it doesn't mean anything to the to the to the present 5-minute chart. So we'll just trade what reactions, and then we have a plan. I have 2 plans. Plan A, what I want to happen, and then plan B if it goes against us. I typically like to trade the bond, the pound, the sterling, but again, I'm going to stick with the euro today. That was just a really rough day yesterday, having it come up and get pushed right back down. So there's definite resistance to getting back up to that yearly price. But typically into mid-November and into the end of the year, we see the dollar lessen and the euro kind of come up, seasonally speaking. But at the beginning of each month, usually there's dollar buying. So this is probably what we're seeing here. So, all right, well, we're getting close. We're just 45 seconds away from something. We actually change the variables here. Put on some. Oh no, we'll just wait. We'll just wait. I almost want to just wait a couple minutes after to see what the reaction is. I have a feeling it's going to jolt down first. If I'm completely honest, maybe putting these 3 buys on isn't the best idea. But here we go. Here we go. And again, it could be a nothing burger, right? Because it's already priced in. Okay, here we go. We are getting some volatility. Try a little bit of scalp. Back and forth a little bit. If I do a couple sells, I have to do the same thing. What's my plan if it breaks above this pivot, that's probably not the best for sells. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that was a little good. I'm going to put on a couple of more buys, and I'm going to put a couple more long buys. Larger. Put 3 there. Still, we could get a nothing burger here. But typically, first move to the upside is a good sign that maybe we'll get some follow through. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to get hammered, but So put on a little bit here, a little bit there. The plan is if it goes against us here, I'm going to be watching my daily return. I have my maximum risk. What's probably a good idea if it gets to half of what I normally do, like 1.5%, it's probably a good idea to close it out and then wait for a reposition. Let's trade up to this pivot here and see if we get to it. Seemed like it wanted to go down a little bit. And it's holding. It's a good sign. Now it's just about patiently waiting. So in comparative terms to other FOMCs, this is kind of a nothing burger. I mean, it barely jumped 20 pips. And now it's just kind of not doing anything. Sometimes we see jumps of 50 to 70 pips and then pullbacks of 40 to 50 pips. And, you know, so this is relatively calm. The more buys that I put on, the more likely I am to just shut everything down if it breaks this pivot low, if it breaks the daily low. Maybe go short for a little bit. I still am going to keep my bullish bias, but like I said, the timing of it might be better to wait. We'll see. Come on, you guys can do it. Captured a little bit of scalping so far, just a little bit. See what the pound's doing. Pound is similar. A little bit of back and forth. But again, in relative to other FOMCs, we're not getting a ton of movement. So makes me wonder if I should put put all my targets a little bit higher, just let it run, shut it down, put my stops a little bit below, and then just not watch it. Sometimes that's where I get better results. Sometimes just setting it, forgetting it, and protecting my account, right? Not trying to revenge trade and when I'm wrong or when I feel like I deserve deserve a certain amount of money or amount of pips or whatever. Okay, the first 5 minutes are over. Not a huge range. I don't Excuse me. A couple more buys. Pull it back a bit. You're gonna have to be really careful if it breaks through this pivot, and in the manner of it breaking that pivot. If it goes down, more than a price cycle on the initial break, so about 10 pips. If it goes to 105.11, 105.10, like really fast, then I'll probably cut it off, or try to catch a test of the break and get out right there. Just try to grab as many as I can for a bounce. But considering how it's holding right here, the amount of time it's holding, if it does break to the downside, it's probably going to extend even lower. Because right now it feels like a battle between the buyers and the sellers. And if the buyers step aside, then they're going to want a better price lower. And it just feels like a battle right now. And whoever breaks a previous pivot, if that pivot is broken, and really there's still a lot of room for that buying to happen, but this pivot is kind of the line in the sand for the buyers too. The buyers have to prove themselves worthy of higher prices, and it's that pivot really. Maybe this price cycle right here because of that old pivot low, but if the sellers push it back down, then it could go another expansion leg. And so that's something that we should keep in mind. It's definitely a battle. Very mixed feelings, I guess. And I don't want to sell here because there's a lot of room for it to go up, right? We're closer to the lows. Larry says it's interesting to listen to you and Sean. Both of you. Is Sean trading right now too? Well, I'd hate to. Sean and Todd are doing a thing. Oh darn! I didn't know that. I didn't want to like take away from what they're doing. I never like to do that, but I guess they had the same idea as I did. Yeah, looks like they're doing that. Oh, oh, if I would have known that, I would have. That's good to watch both. All right. So he's same theory. Well, I've been listening to Sean for a while, so Todd was short, Sean was long. Yeah, it could go either way here. I have to be careful with these longs that I have on, but of course I'd really, really like to see it go higher. Maybe they're waiting for the actual news conference to see if he says anything specific about what their plan is going forward. Maybe that's what people are waiting for. Still in a waiting position. That's what it seems like at this point. Initial move, and then everyone's just kind of waiting for what is actually going to be said, because I kind of knew everything was already priced in for the actual Fed rate, right? So I'm a little a little nervous that some of these lows aren't holding, like this cluster over here, this one right here. It broke above, it came back down, but it's not holding. You know, I'm a little concerned about this level. So if we can get back above this level and hold, I think that'll be a good thing. Larry says, fun to watch you guys. Wish Rex was in also. Yeah. I don't know if Rex trades the news, but yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, well, let's got 19. I'll do an even 20 there. Still got a hunch that it's going to go to the upside, but again, this could easily drop down. We still have some time before the actual press conference here, so they're all closed out. Oh, I see. Very good. That's probably the smart thing. Smart thing to do. Give me just a moment here, guys. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's come down. Let's see if it'll hold. A couple more. Remember we get like a first move, a second move. Hopefully the third move is in the direction of the first. That's kind of what we see sometimes. But if we can get out of these fades here, these little layers, and the plan is if it breaks this pivot, I'm gonna build. I'm gonna trade all the way up to that try to that 07, 04. I don't think it'll happen today because that's almost 200 pips. It's way out of the range of the euro. Even on an FOMC day, it's kind of unprecedented. Doesn't happen very often at all. Excuse me. That was good. It's a good little turn candle that we haven't got. This is the scene of the crime right here, so it's kind of right back where it was when we started. We got 8 minutes left till the bottom of the hour. Probably another few minutes after that to hear what he says. It's gonna get real ugly if it breaks to the downside. But what we'll do is we'll close it out and then try to work our way back. Let's see if it goes up to. Okay, it's just a matter. It's the calm before the storm, isn't it? Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. Again, I'm tempted to short a little, but I don't want to get stuck on the short side if I end up being right on the long side, because that causes me you want to avoid things that cause you frustration. Like, it's frustrating to get stopped out, but it's less frustrating to be right and then be stuck in a position that like a hedging, that you wanted to just you're trying to be right, and then you're making money, and then you're giving it away because you were, I don't know how to explain it. It's just it causes more frustration. So I want to avoid things that cause me more frustration. It's still frustrating to get stopped out without, but any shorts that I would do right now to to offset some of these longs wouldn't be substantial enough. You know, it's just better to close out the trades if it's going to break below here. And what I probably should do is bring my stops a lot closer in case it does a wild move. I was going to give it one price cycle. It's a little bit tight. Because then if it comes down, yeah, that's perfect. 09. So if it breaks below, it might happen so fast that it doesn't matter, but we might get a test of that break, and so that's what I want to give myself a chance there. And then I'll magneto all my targets to there if it goes down. So I really want to consider if I'm wrong. I really want to plan out the trade if I'm wrong. Instead of sitting and imagining all the great, wonderful things I'm going to buy, and all the wonderful feelings I'm going to feel being right and making lots of pips, I need to be thinking, if I'm wrong, what's my plan? What's acceptable? I don't want to be in a state of fight or flight, or freeze, where I'm frozen in fear because I didn't plan out, oh, this is going against me and I didn't expect it to go against me. That's usually what happens when we get into losses, is we're not planning out our losses. We're not planning out the possibility that, hey, if I'm wrong, what's my plan? If you do that, then you are wrong, then you actually have a plan. It still hurts, but it hurts a whole lot less. And you're in more of control of your emotions, and typically, you're able to stave off a bigger loss. And then you don't have to deal with the pain of regret and all of that later on, because that's it's hard enough to recoup from the pain of a loss. Having to recoup mentally from the pain of regret is is not is it worth the risk, right? Yeah, it really looks downward. It's stuck in this consolidation. It's stuck at these lows. Just got a few more minutes, and the anticipation sometimes is unbearable. Sean say the same thing. The anticipation is no fun, or about the feeling like we're going to go down. Yeah, I think I'm on the wrong side of this, at least in the short term, in the very near term. I think it might come down like this and then rally tomorrow, the next day. Of course, I was wrong about that last week, so I could be wrong again. Shane says the anticipation of pain is worse than the pain itself. Sometimes, yeah. Okay, we're right at the bottom of the hour here. It's probably going to be a few more minutes before we get some movement. Oh no, not at all, Larry. I'm actually very glad. No, I'm glad to hear what he's thinking. I feel a little bad. I did not check the calendar today. I didn't think that they traded the I know they do it occasionally, but I didn't know that they were doing it today. And I usually don't like to steal their thunder. Put it on late. Oh, I see. You know what's Mr. Powell saying? What you saying, Mr. Powell? What you saying? Oh, it wasn't there earlier this week. Okay. Maybe we'll get rewarded here. Maybe it'll spike upwards. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we shall get it. We got some of it, but I'm still a little bit leery of the shorts there. Let's just double down. Let's double down on the longs here. Let's just put a whole bunch of scalps. If it breaks down, it breaks down. We've built up 71 pips so far. Nice. Okay. Looks like my hunch was right. Todd's playing the speech. Yeah, I remember watching a couple times him doing it. They like to watch the speech. The middle of the speech. 1400. Gonna log that. I just had a positive trade. It's looking good so far. We've got 100 pips cushion. So the more cushion that we've got, the better it'll be if it goes against us here. We've got a good line in the sand. So when you've got a line, where you've got kind of like this is the spot that I'm watching, and then here's my stops. It kind of takes away some of that anxiety of what's happening right here on the chart, because then you can kind of say, well, as long as it stays above there, I'm just gonna put on some scalps, take some profit, hold on to these longs, see if they work out. If they don't work out, fine. Right? That's the risk I'm willing to take. It still seems like, in terms of an FOMC announcement, it still seems like a nothing burger. The fact that it was at 0525 and it's barely gotten above 0550. It's comparatively not much. It's already been priced in somewhat, it seems. But it could take all the time it wants as long as it goes up. I don't care how long it takes. Right? That's unless you're trading options, then you're fighting time as well as price. There we go. Going against this a bit. Get a little bit more, but we still captured some of those longs. Get a little bit more volatility. So far, it's shown a tendency to go up. Got 158 pips, so even if it goes against us, we've built a nice little cushion against being wrong. Guess the question now is it going to it's going to keep on going? This is kind of a key spot right here. If it could break above that, then maybe the buyers will proceed. Again, if I had gone short here, down in here, and tried even just to capture 2 pips, I'd be hurting a little bit right now. Unless I was scaling in and able to catch a move like that. But man, it really is schizophrenic. There's a big battle. Undecided. Staying within the small range. Doesn't know what it wants. But as far as FOMC announcements goes, this is relatively safe trading. You know, it's not jumping out of ranges and moving 30 pips at a time. This looks to be something. Running against us a bit. Guess everyone's deciding now. Let's take this down. Still got my plan. I'm still long here. Again, if it breaks down, we're going to give it a shot to bounce back a little bit. We got a first move, a second move, a third move, and now the fourth move might bring us back down. I don't know. I think it was last one or the one before. It had like a 5 move. It had something similar to this, and then it went up. Or can't really remember. Okay, we're down lower, so I want to grab a few more. Again, I've got cushion. Okay, let's see this skyrocket. You can do it, guys. You can do it. Right here, right now. Do it. Everybody start blowing with me. Well, it captured some of those scalps. That's why you like to do the 2 pips, because it captured some of those. Again, it's testing that scene of the crime. It's testing that price that we were out when all this started. Okay, here it comes. Buyers are stepping aside now. Just want to see how much fight they have left. Again, we'll put all of our stops. All our stops here. Sean is done. We'll go a few more minutes here. If we get stopped out, we'll call it a day. Things were looking good for us till this last candle. There's the break. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this at 10. There's the break. See if it tests back up. Give it one little price cycle on the 5-minute to change its mind. And if it doesn't, we'll stop ourselves out. Nice. Grabbed a few profits there, again, to offset the loss if we get stopped out. So far, it's telling us that the buyers are kind of stepping aside, but still putting up a fight somewhat. Sometimes these markets get really schizophrenic, but you can stay calm and not worry as long as you stay within your maximum risk, right? Your optimal risk, optimum risk. And I'm kind of looking at like 1.5 today. But if it gets to 2, if it gets all the way down to 2 and when we're at that level, then so be it. But 2.5 is kind of my maximum risk. I want to kind of stay within that. But anything goes, you know, as long as we stay within that, then it's just waiting for the market to decide what to do. And there we go. We captured a little bit more. Those were 10 pips too. Those were 10 pippers. So this low doesn't want to go quietly. If it does go, we've got just 30 seconds on this bar. If it can get to this high, the next candle, then I think we're in good shape. But the next few seconds, if it just comes all the way down here, then we'll probably have follow through to the downside. Still, let's give it a chance to go up. Let's put on some more buys. Let's look like a genius if it gives us a miracle here. Is the low gonna hold? So far it's holding. What we need to do for it to go up is start putting on some sells. That's what I need to do. uh, Come on. You can do it. Maybe making a double bottom on the hour chart. Potentially. From the other day. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Even kind of this is a pretty hefty support area. Yeah, that would be epic. Oh man, look at that already. We can get back to the high, I'm telling you. We get back to this candle's high, and we're in really good shape. Right now, it's still it's encouraging to see the upward movement, but it really has to break that high for us to be safe. If it breaks that high, I expect follow through back to these pivots. But again, in terms of FOMC, this was it looks as though a lot of it was already priced in. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Everybody start blowing with me. Go on, go up. That unrelenting creep down, I know. It's just like, yeah. It's just, can you do it? Not that I'm bitter. No, we had no feeling that presumption that you felt that way. Well, not bad. A lot of those longs that we pulled off. If we were really nervous about and not confident about this, we could close off at a small loss. I'm going to give this a chance though. I still think it's going to come up. I think we're going to get a miracle. I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to take that hit in the face. I'm willing to take that pain of loss of being wrong. I'm going to take a jab of my own. Okay, here it is. The buyer's really tried to get there. Here, I'm going to make sure all my stops are. I have some of my stops at like 100 now. There they go. Okay, now it's looking like something was said that getting people to step away again. Darn it, some of my longs didn't go too well. Oh, geez. Well, that's no good. That's not good. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Capture some more. Now we're in the positive. Not bad for having all of these trades. So this previous 5-minute bar was an inside candle. So we're still looking at this pivot and this candle's high. See which one it gets to. How are we gonna do it?
Breaks above that 5-minute hold, it's going to be good
Yeah, I think you're right.
because it'll retest those tops.
Yeah. Ooh, don't want to get my hopes up. It's really close.
Price action's a little off during this type of stuff, but
Yeah, that's true. They give lots of fake outs, lots of indecision, particularly on these 1-minute, 5-minute charts. But that, like you mentioned, Joshua, that hour looks pretty solid. This whole area, the buyers just keep stepping in.
that's what made me hold on.
Yeah. Yeesh. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. See, that spot everybody else was looking at too. They're like, okay, are we committed? The buyers, are we committed to keep it going? And the sellers are like, not yet, you do it.
When that M formation failed,
Yeah.
should be a response to that.
Yep. Everybody start blowing. Nope, not working. Let's come back down. Still, it's a good sign. The buyers are holding their ground a little bit. The fact that it didn't just plummet. It had a chance. The sellers were excited. You could tell they were excited. And then the buyers were like, no, no, you didn't.
Well, Kevin, with NFP Friday, the market may just want to stay around this price,
You're probably right. It's totally something I didn't think about.
I mean, those guys prepare days in advance.
Yep, they really do. Some traders only trade those announcements, those prices. Okay, looking good. Can't complain.
Gonna test that top.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. You guys gonna do it? You gonna do it? That's really, really great. That was something we were looking for, that top to be broken. Doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but it's a good sign that we can come back up to that level right there. So I don't know about my 100 pippers anymore that I had over here. Let's refresh some of my 100 pippers up here. I don't think that's going to happen anymore today. I was kind of hoping for a jolt of something like this, a good 50 pip jolt, test back down, and then just a grind up the next couple of days. But I think Joshua may be correct. I think there may be more positioning for the non-farm payrolls coming up.
It's an
Still,
old hard support area
yep,
that it's had ever since that downtrend broke. It's right in the middle of it.
yep.
Sounds like a great place for NFP to start.
Yeah, if you're worried about, millions and possibly billions of dollars to position into the market,
Yeah,
this is the place to do it. This is the location. High volume, lots of back and forth.
because the decision to turn hadn't happened yet. It could still go down
That's right.
on
You're
that
absolutely right.
month-long thing.
Yep. Well, then here's the daily here. This is what we're Here's what we're looking at on the daily, from a daily basis. I mean, we're pretty much at the same spot that we were back September. What day is that? Come on, give me a September 26th. We started to get in this area, and that's exactly where we're still at. So over a month of fighting this price. And so they could be building. They could be building for expansion upwards. Or if we go back a little bit farther. Oh, wow, even back in here. Same thing over here. We got a solid support back in from the beginning of the year, February, March. But you have a lot of selling from its peak in the summer, and it could make another expansion down, maybe back to these lows over here. So
Yeah,
102.
I think NFP is going to make that decision. Are we continuing or are we turning?
Yeah. Man, I wish we had some say in that.
We do. We have pennies on their millions.
I guess you're saying there's a chance. Well, hey, this is a decent sign. Getting back above that high. But yeah, I mean the fact that we were down, I can't remember how much we were down, almost 1%, maybe a little bit more. Worried about getting stopped out, very close to getting stopped out, less than 10 pips away. It was like 6, 7 pips away. We've made a nice recovery. Cannot complain.
I got out on that wick.
Nice. Nice. That was probably a smart move.
Well, $1.25. I'm good.
Yeah, sure. So I've got some other trades on the futures that they were going my way, then they came right back down. They're coming my way again. So I'm kind of in the same hold pattern. I've got a target, and if you were to compare it with how the euro has gone, its target's probably right about in here. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for this 0550, 0560 area to maybe another, maybe 10, 15 pips, and then get out of this. And that should put us over 1% if it happens. So, but hey, I mean for an hour of trading, not a bad result, sticking to a certain bias. Now, had you been short and selling into the resistance pivots, you would have been successful here too. Right here, right now, it remains to be seen if you were still selling short this move. You could very well be right. You could very well catch some of that. If it comes, the plan though is you got to plan if you're wrong. So if you've been selling this, expecting another down move, what if it goes up to here? That's the question you need to ask yourself. What's my plan? How do I get out of it? What am I willing to risk? What am I okay with? You know, if it breaks this pivot, if it stays within that pivot, I'm going to wait it out, give it a chance. If it breaks that pivot, you know, that's the hit that I'm willing to take. And tell yourself that. Tell yourself as you're trading, I'm willing to take this hit. That's part of the job. That's part of the gig. And so that doesn't make it hurt less, but I think it helps you recover more quickly. And maybe it does hurt less. I mean, it's like what Larry Williams' dad says, you know, you get so used to the bee stings that they don't bother you anymore. Who's slamming doors? The kids are fighting again, slamming doors on each other. Whitney says, I like the Tyson quote. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And it's amazing what those boxers can endure. Please stop slamming the doors, guys. Okay. And I hope this story doesn't get slammed shut on us. Come on, get up there. Okay, well, we're at the top of the hour here. I think I'll give it just a few more minutes, see if we can capture some of these profits, and then you'll know kind of the rest of my plan. I want to see these. If it does hit these profits right here, I'm going to bring the rest of my targets around this pivot right here. This old high, just below this pivot. It's probably what, 0560. So we still have a ways to go. Less than 20 pips. But if it doesn't, if it comes all the way back down, I'm not going to add anything more. At this point, I'm just going to keep all my, where's my stops? I guess I have to move this. I'm just going to keep all my stops right in here where I had it before. And if it comes down, it comes down. Thanks, Shane. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
You got that top.
Yes, it just nicked it. We're at 90.94%. That's pretty good. Ooh, stock market's making a break. They broke the previous initial high. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. But I need to take profits right now. I might have missed it. Oh, and I was really tempted to grab another contract when it came down like that. I was really tempted. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If I had done so, that would have been a pretty penny. Pretty penny. But that's a good move here at the start of the top of the new hour. It's a really good sign. New highs on the S&P. Yep. That's what I was just noticing. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yep, sold some, bought some. Okay, well this euro, you guys know what my plan is. If you see it hit these highs, I'm gonna move the rest of my targets here, and then all my stops are right here. I'm just gonna let it run. So I'll post that in the Discord how that plays out, but not a bad FOMC trading again. Once again, we've come out unscathed. I think out of the last 8 of them, we've made out of 7 of them profitable. So we've got a good track record trading the FOMC with this P3 method. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to sign off. And yeah, if I get that, it would be epic. It really would. I'm thinking that we'll get lucky if we hit that. But appreciate you, and hope every trade that you place is well planned out, well thought out, and well accepted as far as the risk. And be willing to take those hits. Be willing to have the plan and get punched in the face, right? Just want to wait just another minute, see those filled, but I've got to run. So, well, we'll call it a day. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Gal. Thanks, Ali, Whitney, everybody. Joshua, great to chat with you. Hope your trade is going well. Larry,
Always
thanks.
fun, Kevin.
Yeah, it's great to be with you guys. Okay, take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.